Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Morning.
Good morning. I hereby call this meeting of Lake Mary Toastmasters Club 6440 to order. Before we begin, please silence your cell phones. I would like to ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Our mission is to provide a supportive learning environment through which members feel empowered to become better public speakers by developing their confident communication and leadership skills. This morning, I would like to introduce our Toastmaster of the day, Mr. James Harris.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, welcome to the Lake Mary Toastmasters. Our theme for this morning is peace and love, cherish and appreciate. Of course, we all love Toastmasters. And anything that you love, it actually requires a responsibility. So today, a lot of y'all are in serious trouble. We're trying to mess up my program. First of all, let me lay down the ground rules for you.
Get him, James, get him.
Especially when I'm Toastmaster. I did this job 6 months ago, and I realized how frustrating it was. I said I would not do that again. Now, you need to go on Easy Speak, okay, and check out your particular assignment by at least Sunday. And that's being nice. Actually, you do it by Friday, not Monday. At least Sunday, okay? Now, my printer went out on Saturday. I had to download the whole program, go ahead and print it out yesterday at 12 o'clock. And then someone sent me the assignment at 2 o'clock. Bad. Now, when the program goes around for you to sign up to speak, you cannot always get on the program. There's no slots left. And then when it comes time to speak, you fall off. Come on now, you can do better than that.
That's right.
Thank you.
Scolding you.
That's right.
Thank you.
Please.
That's right.
That's why my theme is peace and love. Now,
I'm feeling very unloved now, James. What do you got?
love is a responsibility.
Chastise those you
Love
love.
is a responsibility. Okay. It's Christmas time again. What is the spirit of Christmas?
Over there. Knows.
Peace and love, the opposite of war and misery. Peace is a state of mutual harmony. And with that, I will introduce my evaluation team. Our counter is Dory Richards.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. As our counter, it's my function to listen for the use of filler words such as no, so, okay, and other audible fillers. I'll be noting if members perform any double clutches, which means to say things twice, like this means, and I will also include things which may be distracting, such as lip smacks or those nasty pauses like I just did. I'll present my report at the end of the meeting, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. And I've been married today. On the program is wrong word, I think. Actimize. She has a new word. Charity.
You can do whatever you want.
Charity.
Is there a word?
You know what you want to do? Charity. Carolyn?
Oh, whoops.
You got a word in there?
I do, but we can do this one. I'm sorry.
You prepared one, don't you?
I do. Gosh, what do we say?
This is right here.
Jubilation.
There you go.
Word of the day is jubilation. Okay, sorry. As grammarian, it is my function to select a word of the day to help build members' vocabularies. Each member, when called upon to speak, is encouraged to use the word of the day. Other members may gently rap on the table when they hear a member use the word. The word of the day I chose, and I'm so sorry, is jubilation, which I can't really read the meanings or the sentence, but I did write the meaning here. A feeling of or the experience of joy or exultation, a joyful or festive celebration.
Very good.
I can't read the sentence that I used. I'm so sorry.
It's a good
We
sentence.
can't either.
The children's jubilation subsided when they opened their last present and realized it wasn't a puppy.
All right, in addition, I will be listening for any errors in grammar as well as excellent word selection. I will also be noting any colorful thoughts or phrases members might use. During the evaluation portion of the meeting, I will present my report.
And some peace. As a new Toastmaster, you learn as we go. So today we learned that we will go in the program early. Okay? Everybody got that? It's a teaching moment. I always take advantage of teaching moments. Our timer today. He's going to Julie Kaufman.
All right. Good morning. Jubilation. I am your Toastmaster, your timer today. And I'll give the times and a report, and I will hold up the cards, and when your time's up, you'll get the red card, and it's time for you to depart from the lectern. Thank you.
Our first speaker today has been in Toastmasters for a short period of time, although he's a successful salesperson. Oh, I'm sorry. Point of order.
I don't have an evaluator.
Okay. We need an evaluator.
Mine's
This is
Marty's
Stacy.
here. Mine's Simon.
Wait a minute, Marty's over here.
I'm the second one.
Rich Massa.
Oh, you
Not here.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Samuel,
This is the
I
question.
got you.
Samuel.
Samuel.
Oh.
Okay.
Samuel will.
Samuel will.
Willingly.
Samuel
Right.
willingly evaluates.
The evaluation.
Yes.
Say that 3 times.
Okay, are there any other corrections to the program? So you see what I mean now? Okay. We gotta fix
Yeah,
this.
come down on Rich.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll give him a call.
Yeah.
Get my son.
Our first speaker today is a successful salesperson. He's giving speech number 2. Bob will speak about his talk to a New York rap about sales techniques. Please welcome Toastmaster Bob Levy.
So I've only had a couple of days to prepare this, and I was doing okay. I thought maybe I'd wing it, and then somebody this morning told me this would probably be the most important assignment that I have. So I got to read part of it and wing part of it. Good morning, Mr. Toastmaster and honored guests. It's seldom that a new member of Toastmasters gets the opportunity to speak to 170 seasoned salespeople after just completing the icebreaker. So here's my strange story. When I landed from a cruise last month and I had a message on my cell phone to call my son immediately to hear some jubilant news. He proceeded to tell me that I was invited to speak at a Salesforce quarterly review. Salesforce, a multi-billion-dollar software company, employs my son Darren as a marketing specialist. So why would they want me to speak? Management decided to ask a parent who had sales experience to come and talk to the group, thinking that they might be able to bring some new ideas to the sales group. So I said, okay, well, where am I going to speak? He said, New York City. I said, oh, New York City. Well, how am I going to get there? He said, we already have plane reservations. Where am I going to stay? We've booked a hotel for you. I'm like, oh, okay, well, what am I going to speak about? He said, you get the details when you arrive. I was like, oh my God. And I said, and when is this going to happen? He said, 2 days. It was like, oh shit. So fast forward to Manhattan. Now that I'm already in front of the group and I'm mic'd up, the group is comprised of expert telemarketers, all the way up to $1 million executives. I decided to tell the assembly of experts about my 4 absolute necessary steps to a sale. And that would be trust, need, help, and hurry. Well, trust means that you have to successfully bond with whomever you're trying to sell. You have to be able to create a relationship, and you don't have a lot of time to do that. So sometimes you may have to, what they call, jump the fence and listen to what the person who you're trying to communicate with is interested in. You may have to match and mirror. Matching and mirror is kind of like you do what they're doing. So if they're scratching their face, you scratch your face. If they're rubbing their chin, you rub your chin. And they don't realize that you're now getting in sync with what they're looking for. So that's the trust. Trust is critically important to be able to do a successful sales presentation. The next is need. Well, if they don't need what you're trying to sell, then what's the point? So I keep looking back at my last company, which was roof contracting, and if they don't have a leak in the roof, and you're trying to sell them roof repair, they don't have any need. So unless the need is there specifically, you're wasting your time. So then, help. You have to help them understand what you're trying to sell. And actually, we don't even like the word sales because people don't like to be sold. So you're trying to get them to understand what it is that they need from you. So you're helping them with talking about workman's comp, liability insurance, how you're not going to interfere with the production that they've got going on in the plant below. And that is all a part of them understanding what you're there for. Well, then you have hurry. Hurry is a call to action. Now, some of us have very short selling cycles, which means you go in, you try to make a sale, and either you get it or you don't. There are no be-backs. Some of us have very long selling cycles, and sometimes it takes over a year to get somebody to buy your product or service. So in this situation, we're talking, these people are long selling cycles. Now, a little aside on that, people tend to sell the way they buy. You think of that for a minute. Let's suppose you wanted to buy a television. You say, let me search. And you want to go to Best Buy, you want to go to Target, you want to go to Costco. You're going everywhere to look for a television. And then you finally decide on the right television. Well, some people just go in and they'll say, I want that television right there, let's take it. Now, that's a quick decision, and people tend to sell the way they buy. So, if somebody says to you, gee, I really like your roof repair system, but I want to think about it for a while, and you say, well, no, that's okay, I understand, because I like to think about things before I make a purchase. Well, that's not a good situation. So people that have a lot of trouble buying things have a lot of trouble selling things. So I could expand and drill down, and essentially what drilling down means is when you're looking for their specific problem, you have to drill down in it without giving a price or asking for an order. For example, the roof is leaking in the factory. and they called you out to fix the leak. Well, you're not there to explain to them how you're going to fix the leak. You're there to explain, what problems is that leak causing? Well, the floor is slippery. So what does that mean? Well, people are slipping. Well, what problem does that create? Well, it creates that they're injured and they're out of work, and it screws up our production. Or we have a workers' comp situation, okay, and what about all those racks there? Well, the water is leaking on the inventory, which means we have trouble selling. So all of these factors combine to make sales a very complicated system unless you internally follow a specific format. So I'm on page 3, and I was So at the end of my talk, the presenters were asking about, okay, what are the goals? And 3 people were asked before me, what are the goals? And one of them said, well, I want to double my finances next year. And one said, I want to open new stores. The third one said, I want to follow my New Year's resolutions. And they came to me and they said, well, what's your goal for next year? And I said, I need to get my son married. And he was out there and he's like, oh my God, where's he going with this one? And I said, and just so that you all know, there is a finder's fee, and I could go on, which is indexed by CPI, but that's a second story. So, in conclusion, I got to say that I really enjoyed the feedback I've had so far from the club. I'm learning a lot quickly. It's fast forward, and I appreciate the help I'm getting. And thank you, Ernst.
Oh.
There he is, my mentor.
Oh, yeah. Well done. Thank you, Bob. Ladies, give me 1 minute on the clock. Please write your comments to Bob.
Yes.
Peace and love. Cherish and appreciate. You know what peace is? Love is to care for with strong affection, and it's unselfish and not for personal gratification. Our next speaker is giving speech number 2 out of the resources to inform. Stacy is speaking on the benefits of kinesiotape. Your resident massage therapist, Stacy Barbanek, will be giving you the benefits of kinesiotaping. Stacy.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. How is everybody this morning?
Good.
Well, as you've heard, I'm going to give you the benefits of kinesiotaping. But first, I want to tell you a story about how I started with kinesiotaping. A couple years ago, I was at a horse show. It's kind of my thing. And my knee re-dislocated during a class. So my kneecap slid in and out of place. This is the second class of my day. I had paid for everything else. So I was like, I need to finish this horse show, or at least to get through more of my classes so I feel like I paid for what I paid for. So I that day, there happened to be a chiropractic there at the worship, which that's the first time that I've ever been to a worship that had a chiropractor there. I was very thankful because I'm hobbling out of the class because I can't walk, and I got face planted in that class. So she was doing kinesiotaping. And I'm like, how much is it? She's like, $10. I'm like, sold. So what she was able to do was take my knee up to give it support. And I was able to finish all my classes except for my English classes because there was no way in hell I was posting. But that day I was able to receive 2 first places and 2 fourth places, which was one of the biggest shows I went to. The average class size was 30 horses. So that is my story about how I got involved into kinesiotaping. And so I'm glad I had that start. Well, let me just tell you a little bit about kinesiotaping and what the tape actually is. The kinesiotape is a thin, flexible piece of fabric that has adhesive on the back. And what it does, it helps to give support to the muscles and joints. And if there's been an injury, like in my case, it helps just to support those muscles. It also allows for athletes to continue to train on a light basis, but it gives the muscles support. And you can also apply it directly over the muscle. So what I'm going to do is just pass out a piece on each side. You can play with it, you can stretch it. I don't care. I don't be tossed. So this brings me to the benefits of kinesiotaping. Some of the minor benefits of kinesiotape: it is very effective. It can stay on for 3 to 5 days. So it's about a week-long help for those muscles that are injured. There's also no side effects and very little contraindications. So the main benefits that I want to bring us to are the pain relieving properties of it. What the kinesiotape helps with 2 types of pain. Acute pain, which is just a recent injury like I had, or you're hurting, and then the chronic pain, which is like a chronic low back pain, neck pain, and so the kinesiotape helps with that. And the way it helps with it is once you apply it using just a little bit of tension, it helps lift the skin and gives more blood flow to the muscles that it's helping. And also, and so that just helps to relieve the pain receptors associated with what you're feeling. Another benefit is it reduces swelling and inflammation. It does that by just giving lymphatic drainage channels so the inflammation has a place to go. So I'm going to pass around another picture. This is a picture of a type of kinesiotaping you can do for an acute whiplash, so right after a car accident. It helps reduces the inflammation. And that's actually me. Somebody took a picture of me because I learned it in class.
Oh, wow.
And another benefit, like I said, it also supports the joints and muscles if you've had an injury. So the way, using the elastic peel of the tape, you just tape the areas, because there's many different ways you can tape. I've seen people tape their IT band. I'm passing that picture around, I've had my neck taped before, I've had my ankles taped before. So there's just it's a very versatile product, and you can use it for any areas of the body. So in conclusion, I want to leave you with the jubilation of the benefits of kinesiotaping.
Thank you, Stacy.
time. And two things at once, like comments.
Wait.
No, go ahead, wait a minute. I want to talk about it right now. Cherish and appreciate is the opposite of exploit. It means to hold dear, to care for tenderly. Cherish is to appreciate. Appreciate is to be grateful, to be thankful, and to value justly. Now, I know you want to know what's the bottom line. If you've been listening, the bottom line is, ready for this? We cherish and appreciate peace and love. Remember that? All right.
Yes. Well done.
Time's up.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Our next speaker, Toastmaster Davies is Advanced Leader Bronze and Advanced Communicator Silver. He's working on the Advanced Communicator Gold. Today he is presenting from the Interpretive Reading Manual Project number 4, the play. That means adapt a play for interpretive reading, portray several characters in one reading, identify them to the audience with different voice changes and body movement. He has selected and adapted the story and the play for our audience with the title, A Baby Changes Everything. This is a biblical narrative from the Synoptic Gospels written by Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Tell the story about the birth of baby Jesus. It is the play many will feature as part of their Christmas holiday. The baby changed the lives of a man and a woman, the lives of shepherds, wise men, and a king. A baby changes everything. Toastmaster Tidbit.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, every one of you in this room have changed somebody's life because every one of you were a baby at one time or the other. And I will read a story about a baby changes everything. A long time ago, in the town of Nazareth, lived a young woman named Mary. Mary did her work, her chores, was kind to others, and loved God very much. She was engaged to be married to Joseph, who was a carpenter. Then one day, suddenly, an angel appeared to Mary in a little village of Nazareth. The angel said, "Mary, you are favored by God, and He is with you everywhere you go." Mary said, "What do you want?" "Please do not be afraid," said the angel. "Why are you visiting me?" "God has sent me as He has found favor with you. You will have a baby, and to give him the name Emmanuel, God with us." "I am confused. I am not married. How can I have a baby?" "The Holy Spirit will perform a miracle, and your baby will be called the Son of God, Jesus." "How can I believe what you're saying?" "I have more exciting news, Mary. Even your cousin Elizabeth is going to have a son in her old age." "But she can't have any children." "She's already pregnant. Nothing is impossible with God."
Wait a minute.
"I don't know what to say." "It's okay," the angel said. With jubilation, Mary said, "I am the Lord's servant, and I hope everything that you are saying will come through." Mary went off to her chores. Then a peasant boy in the village saw Joseph around the corner, and the boy said to Joseph, "Mary is going to have a baby. What? How can that be? Joseph said angrily. And the peasant boy said, wait a minute. I saw an angel talking with Mary last night. And then the angel appeared to Joseph and said, Joseph, don't be afraid to take Mary as your wife. What? Why should I take her as my wife? She's going to have a baby to another man. No, Joseph, said the angel. Mary's going to have a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus. Okay. I'll take her as my wife and love her till the end. Later on that day, Mary and Joseph met each other. And Mary said to Joseph, what is wrong? I am very happy. You are going to have a baby. I'm jubilating. Yes, I am, Mary said. Isn't that wonderful? Joseph said to Mary, we must go to Bethlehem to register you as my wife. Then Joseph and Mary started their journey from the north of Palestine, called Nazareth, all the way down to the south in Bethlehem. As they were coming along the way, Mary said to Joseph, I am very tired. We need to find somewhere to stay. Okay, my love, we'll find a place. And so Joseph saw a light in the corner of a building, and he walked over there, and then he knocked on the door. He knocked, knock, knock. And from inside, somebody said, what do you want? And Joseph said to that owner, my wife is tired. We're expecting a baby, and we need a place to stay. And from inside the house, the voice came back, I am so sorry for hearing that, but we do not have a place for you to stay. And Joseph turned to his wife, Mary, and said, we must look for another place. Just at that moment, there was a peasant boy standing by and said to Joseph, I am sorry for hearing this, but do you need somewhere to stay? Yes, said Joseph, we do. My wife is very tired. And then the peasant said to Joseph, I have a little shed in the back. It's for my animals. It is warm, and there's plenty of straw to lie in. Joseph said to Mary, let us take it. And then they moved inside the shed. And late that night, Joseph could hear Mary moaning. I am having a baby, Joseph. And Joseph said, Mary, I can help you. And after a few moments of struggle and difficulty, Mary said to Joseph, it's a boy. And Joseph said, yes, it's a boy. We'll call him Jesus. A baby changed the life of a man and a woman. Their names were Joseph and Mary. Late that night, in the plains of Palestine, outside of Bethlehem, there were shepherds in the fields. And the shepherds were going about their daily chores. Then one shepherd said, look at that. And another shepherd said, what is it? And the shepherds said to each other, we don't know, but those are angels. One angel? No, many angels. And the angel said to the shepherds, don't be afraid. We bring you good news for all people. Tonight in Bethlehem, a baby has been born. He is the one that will save the world. You will know the baby because he will be wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger. Go to Bethlehem and see. And then the shepherds hurried on to Bethlehem, and when they arrived, they saw the baby, just as it has been told. And they said to each other, "Now we've seen the baby. Let us go and tell everyone what we have seen." And then the shepherds hurried on back to the plains of Palestine. Joseph said to Mary, "Now it is time for you to fall asleep and rest a little while." And then Mary fell soundly asleep. But after some months, way in the land of the east, there were wise men. And these wise men would study astrology. And they looked up and they saw a light in the sky. And then one wise man said to another, "That star is very special. Let us find out what it means. And let us follow the star wherever it goes." The three wise men started to travel from the far east to come closer to Jerusalem. When they arrived in Jerusalem, they went on to ask the king. And they said to the king, "Where is the baby that has been born?" King Herod angrily said, "What baby to be a king? I am the king of Judea." And the wise men said, "Wait a minute. We are just following the star, and the star is leading us." Then Herod said, "Go and search for the child, and when you find him, come back and tell me, and I will also go and see the child." The wise men hurried on to the next town, which was Bethlehem. And upon arriving, the star stopped where the baby was born. And the wise men went in, and they found the baby, and they presented to the baby 3 gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And they worshipped the baby. But late that night, word came to Joseph that King Herod in Jerusalem is looking for the baby, and he's about to kill the baby. Therefore, Joseph said to Mary, "Gather up all our things and our baby, and let us go to Egypt." So Joseph and Mary woke up as the angel had told them, and they took the baby down to Egypt. King Herod, in the meantime, was searching for all babies under 2 years old so that he can kill all those babies. But the baby Jesus and mother and father were down in Egypt, and there they stayed until they heard that Herod had died. Then Joseph said to Mary, "We are now safe. We can return to Bethlehem. We can return to Jerusalem." And they continued their journey until they got back to Nazareth, where Mary had conceived the baby and where Jesus grew up. A baby changed their lives. To be continued. Mr. Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Gus Davies, give you 1 minute, he's got your comments.
X-ray today, morning drone.
We're about 3 minutes behind. I think we can make up the time. I want to, although I gave you a hard time today, which is fantastic. With jubilation, I present you the piece. and the jubilation, I present to you our table topics master for today. Toastmaster Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have some questions for you. And I want to hear nothing but good answers. My first question for you. Have you ever had a time you had to give an unexpected talk to a room of peers or experts? Gene.
An unexpected talk to peers or experts? No.
Good, then I have another question. We talked about love and jubilation. What is your definition of love? Charity.
Love. It's my name. No. It is. Charity. Love is just a compassion and feelings of sincerity and happiness towards another person or thing. That's my answer.
Have you ever had an injury that you had to push through in order to accomplish a task? Shayne.
Oh.
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow members and guests. Yes, I remember one time I was out on a date with a beautiful girl. Things were going the right way for me. I also was a little older in age, 30. Suffering from some back pain. Had to push through that back pain to close the night strong. Thank you very much.
Good short answer. What is something you cherish and love? What is something you cherish and love? Teryl.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, guests. Something I cherish and love, pretty easy answer. That would be my husband. He's been my best friend. I have to say it, right? My phone is a close second, but that would be my husband. He's been my best friend, and he's the best person I know for the last 27 years.
Wow. All right, when has a baby changed your life? Not that you had one, but just when you interacted with one. A baby has changed your life. Stephany.
Your baby. For the benefit of new Toastmasters who've not heard my stories or my speeches, Mr. Topics Master and your fellow Toastmasters, I don't like kids.
Sit down.
How have they changed my life? It causes me to avoid them at all costs. It causes me to demand to change my seat on airlines. It causes me not to go on certain cruise lines because they're known for having children. It causes me to not take assignments at church that involve children. It causes me to avoid my own kids. And with that, I will send them gift cards, but I don't want them anywhere near me for the holidays. Thank you very much. With great jubilation, I stay away from kids.
Last question, I like that answer. Have you ever had a divine intervention that affected your life? This is Bucky.
All right.
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Divine interventions, I've had plenty of those, and I have a flat forehead to prove it, because I don't take messages from above very well. It's like, keep pounding me with it. Sometimes I don't get it the first time, so I'm pretty stubborn that way. But since this is a week of jubilation for me, I'm more amenable to messages. Tomorrow is my birthday. So this entire week is a week of jubilation and opening to divine intervention rather than being closed.
Thank you for a wonderful speaking program. Now, we will look back. We have 12 minutes. The Master Evaluator has 12, maybe 13 minutes to evaluate the program with his team. And I'm happy and jubilated to welcome today Toastmaster Ernst. Ernst.
General Evaluator. Yeah, they're really hustling me because we're a little bit behind, but anyways, according to the agenda, the word of today is epitomize, so I use epitomize. Mr. Harris actually epitomizes everything we're looking for in Toastmaster. He has a two-piece suit on, cheap, right out of Cheap Jew. He was well prepared, and he even lectured everybody on the use of Easy Speak, which I highly suggest. Don't use Easy Speak on Tuesday morning at 5 o'clock. It's too freaking late, especially when you do the agenda. Isn't that correct? Yes, thank you very much. And with great jubilation, I accepted the assignment as your general evaluator. General evaluation is a portion of meeting where we learn a lot of things about ourselves. That's what Toastmasters is all about. We are getting feedback on our speeches. We're getting input on all the other parts of our Toastmaster meeting. That's what the general evaluator is doing. Therefore, evaluating speaker number 1, Bob Levy, about the successful selling, I will ask Marty Simon.
Hey, Marty!
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It's DOB. Thank you. If you're going in to sell something, would you tell your prospective client that you're not quite familiar with your product? You wouldn't, would you? Yes. It is with less than stellar jubilation that I have your opening as a 3 and then bang, a 5. Because your opening, you came up and you apologized to us first and foremost for not being prepared and that you might be winging it. And you know what? You didn't need to tell us that because you knew your topic, you knew the story, you know sales. So when you got to that part where you went into the New York story, it was exciting, it was funny. You dropped that old shit in there. That hurts. And you captured us all with that. So I would just say, to offer a piece of advice, even if you are winging it, don't tell me. I would have never known. Would have never known. For your speech, the second speech, it's based on the beginning, body, and conclusion. That's why I said the beginning, I had to give a 3, but then it was a 5 because you really went into your story about what happened to you when you got your call from your son and it's, oh my God, what's happening? And I'm suddenly going to be in New York and I'm talking about what, to whom, to when? We then get to the body, which you then came out from behind the lectern and you went through your 4 incredible pieces of the sales. The trust, need, help, and hurry. And you gave examples, concrete examples of it. It was a beautiful thing to watch you in your element, in your comfort level, in your jubilation, to go into that. I would say trust yourself. You knew the story, you knew the sales process. You came out from behind the lectern and you just absolutely captured the room. A little bit of the same on the conclusion where you finished that strength of the sales process you weren't exactly sure what to do, and you wanted to close out with, should I conclude the sales process and re-summarize that? Or do I finish with the New York part? And I wanted a little more of the New York story and see how that went. I felt like we were all on the edge. I wanted to know what happened, the reaction, how you felt afterward. Did you puke? All in all, when you got in your element, it was a powerful thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Evaluating speaker number 2, Stacy. The speech was from the Speaker to Inform manual. For your information, I'm asking Sam Bailey to come up well.
And for your information, these things also make quick pinch tattoos, very flamboyant, stylish. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Evaluator, and especially Stacy. Project number 2 out of the Speaking to Inform, an advanced communicator manual, in which you had to inform the audience on a topic that was relevant to us and use research and visual aids to help explain the product, or whatever it is that you were explaining, in this case, an actual product. Things that you did very, very well. The emotional connection in the beginning. First off, your intro was great because you gave us the layout, but using your knee and giving us the visual description on how you had to wobble on over to the chiropractor, we all felt your pain. Great way to connect with the audience immediately. Whenever you have any form of emotional pain that comes out of a speech or physical, instant connection, which you had a beautiful transition into telling us what the kinesios actually were. Did I say that right? Thank you. Kinesiotaping. Yes, that fills me with jubilation that someone actually can say that. All right, I know I have to epitomize this, but give me just a second. One thing that I would love to see more in this, because you have your own personal experiences and you have credible sources, is more research. You have beautiful visual aids, but I would maybe like to see a graph to go along with the research. Because one of the main things for this topic is to have a well-researched. Because yes, you have medical experience. Yes, you have plenty of colleagues that are in the medical experience. Yet not all of us have been to your practice or know quite what you know. So if you can pull out some actual data and saying, hey, so-and-so research conducted by such and such university found this, this, and this, and this, and why this is a great alternative to other methods. Overall though, you're doing great. I said just scoot this out to the side, completely scoot on back. You can use it for your props, but you really don't need it at this point anymore. You have built that confidence and you are now being able to speak with humor, more clarity, and you are coming a long way. Thank you.
The next subject, next speaker, Gus Davis. He was speaking from the Interpretive Reading Manual, section number 2, the play. A baby changes everything. Phyllis Harley is going to get the evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. And Gus, I want to start off with thank you for doing this project at this time of the year, right whenever we're getting into the holiday season. So thank you for doing that and choosing this day as that speech. It is a very jubilant story that we know is quite dear to your heart and many of us as well. Gus asked me specifically to focus on the eye contact because this project has a little bit different requirement because he is taking a large play, condensing it down into a short piece, doing characters, but he's not supposed to make the eye contact that we normally make during speeches. And for those of you who know Gus, he is an excellent eye contact maker whenever he's doing his speeches. It's not a problem for him. So he asked me to focus on this. Gus, I think you did an excellent job for what the project was asking you to do. When you first started the speech, I noticed you did make some eye contact with everyone, but then when you were getting into the characters, you did kind of step back into the play and the eye contact was lessened. And then I noticed at the end, you came back again and were making the eye contact with the audience again. So I think the eye contact that you did was appropriate for the speech. wow, 10 different characters is what I counted, at least 10, because not only was there one angel, but then there were other angels at the end. You did do distinct characters. I do think some of them merged a little bit, so you might want to work a little bit on that. Joseph and Mary kind of started having toward the end, were speaking with the same voice. But that was very excellent in making all those different characters. The voices, you knew when the angel was speaking, that was a distinct voice, as well as you did a great job in condensing that large work into a small, shorter speech. The 2 points that I wanted to bring out to you to work on for the next time is bringing some more physicality into it. I think that would be more appropriate with this play. There wasn't a whole lot of physical action that you took. And also, the conclusion, you faltered it a bit. I think that was one of the parts where you took the large and it seemed like you were at a point where you could have concluded, but you went a little bit further into the story and then you had to wrap it up quickly because I think of your time. So thank you so much for that speech. And I enjoyed it.
Now I'm asking our technical table to please give us a jubilant report for their specific assignment, starting with our counter.
Okay, in an interest to save time. Clean, Charity, clean, Julia, clean. Bob, you had 19, mostly they were so's and lip smacks, and there was an ish in there. Stacy, 2, Gus, clean, Mike, clean, Jean, clean. Then Charity, when you got up again in table topics, there were 3. Shayne, 2, Teryl, clean, Stephany, clean, Julia B, 3, Ernst, 5, Marty, 1, Sam, 1, Phyllis, 4. And if we're doing $5 and thank you.
Thank you. Asking our timer to please give a report.
All right. Okay, Bob, 8:05. Stacy, 5:53. Gus, 11:35. Jean, 11 seconds. Charity, 23. Shayne, 28. It's a twofer. Teryl, 24. Stephany, 54. And Julia, 45. Marty, 3 minutes. I didn't time you, so 3 minutes. Sam, 2:21. Samuel. Phyllis, 2:27. That's my report.
Excellent.
Thank you. Charity, please, as the grammarian, give us.
Yes, Charity, tell us what we did wrong.
Well, I counted this a little differently, so I'm just going to say there was 20 times the word of the day was used, even though yours, Ernst, you did 3 extras of the epitomize. Just so you know, I did check this yesterday, the agenda. We had an issue with it, though. I was logged in twice. So anyway, I created my own word of the day. Okay. Misuse of words, Charity had an infinite amount of those. Stacy, 2 colorful phrases. Goodness, James, there was 2. Bob, 2. Gus, infinite amount, and Marty, 2. And again, mispronounced words, Charity, in my introduction speech. That's my report for the day.
I'm now turning over the meeting to our president for the business section.
Thank you.
All right, Ernst.
We have 1 minute. That was a great meeting. Thank you, everyone. The schedule, don't forget Friday is our holiday party, 7 o'clock. Carrie email. Make sure you do go to Easy Speak. Gus, my favorite character, was Peasant Boy. Wait a minute. Next week, our Toastmasters, Stephen Morgan. Speakers, Shayne, Mike, and Jean. Good?
Sure.
Table topics, Sam Bailey.
Okay.
Stacy, General Evaluator. Evaluators, Julia Kaufman, Tara McLean, and Barbara Welch. I'll counter back. Good? Ernst is our grammarian, and I'll be the timer. Does that sound good to everybody?
Sounds good.
Beautiful.
Magazines, extra magazines, please give them to Phyllis. And don't forget to check Easy Speak, please, 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 for your Toastmaster.
Address. Encourage those who don't have that information, please speak to us. What's phone numbers, email.
Maybe she should put it.
No one needs to put their phone numbers in.
To the address.
That's a good idea. If, he was saying that he couldn't find people's phone numbers or emails in Easy Steve, so.
So.
If you click on your name, it pulls up your
Everybody
profile.
knows.
Highlight their name.
I did.
It's
something not there.
Oh, two accounts, sorry, no, it's not
Yeah, so everyone, make sure your info is updated in there so that people can get in touch with you.
I just wanted to let everybody know, if anybody has a chance and want to come over, but I'm actually horseback riding in a parade in Lake Helen on Saturday evening, starting at 4 o'clock. So if anybody's interested.
Email that in to the club. Okay. Anything else?
Gary, everybody gets you. I read the flyer was a little different.
Yeah, they have my address.
Yeah. I sent out a new one.
Yeah.
With the correct address.
Yeah, it's.
I didn't get it.
Which one with the flyer? Is that the correct one? Yeah, it's 112 Majestic Forest Run. It's not Wilson Bay.
Okay, I'll send out another email too.
And put my phone number on it.
Good.
Everybody else? Anything else?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. See y'all next week.